Greetings, gamers! Welcome to part number 24 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 4 Genealogy of the Holy War, and in today's episode, more of my units must deal with more of these brigands from Orgahill. You would think that the brigand chapters were over, and the brigand fights were over, but technically they're never really over because raiders exist pretty much for the rest of this game. So you're always going to have to deal with brigands to some degree, but Orgahill is probably the biggest fight with them since you're fighting much stronger units than in any other particular chapter concerning the brigands. Except for the raiders, I do think they kind of scale with the difficulty of the game. I'm not for sure, because by the time you're fighting them in Gen 2, your units are so powerful that they're a non-threat. They're honestly a non-threat regardless. And then here you see the power of Teal 2. She goes ahead and one-shots these guys. You have to be careful because she doesn't have anything like Vantage, and I don't think Vantage works in conjunction with Wrath in this game. I'm not sure. Not sure. I know that it doesn't work in conjunction with Wrath in Thracia, but I'm just not sure in Genealogy. Would be cool if she had both, and there's probably a way to give both to her children if you wanted such a strategy to work. Alright. Sigurd, of course, needs to move out. Yeah, so I did give the bolt sword to good old Ethlin. And of course, Ideen does have to talk to Bridget. You cannot, and I mean you cannot miss this. If you miss this, you just don't get what they get from the conversation. I was able to get Midir all the way up to Arena level 7. He's not beating number 7 without 2 criticals and maybe like an avoid or 2. It's not happening. Though it doesn't matter because in the next particular chapter, he's going to start off with enough gold to use the Paragon Band, which is pretty darn awesome. I'm excited about that because it just means that he will be far and away more useful with that in tow. It's actually the reason why I haven't been repairing the Killer Bow. The Killer Bow is extremely expensive to repair. And what that means is that if you do happen to repair it, you're just going to be wasting all of your precious gold that you could be using for the Paragon Band. So of course, I need to start striking these guys down. This is going to be kind of a long slog if I'm being honest. That's not really that big of a deal because my units can deal with it, at least for the time being, while Sigurd and friends rush up here. So I actually think that Do being here or here would be better. Yeah, here would be better. So I'm going to start moving up. I'm not going to attack right yet. And I think I'll just strike with Elwind. Yeah, I was really hoping for no Adept or Crit Proc there, and he didn't give either, so that's pretty good. Erin has the Leg Ring, which actually is very useful on her because, again, she doesn't get terrain bonuses. But, like I said before, there's not really real utility for flyers in this game, so it's honestly not that important. I'm going to dance for you and get the village. And if I'm not mistaken, she has 5 movement, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's going to be about like here-ish. And visit.
We're so glad to see you. Here, have a quick sip of our local special brew. For generations, it's made us all harder.
Yep, good old 5,000 gold and some defense. This is nice. Rakessis needs all the gold she can possibly get. I cannot repair anything of hers at this current time because she just needs the gold for the arena and the Paragon Band. She's going to be receiving the Paragon Band next chapter. I should be able to, at her current level, get her up to, especially with her going through the arena in this chapter, I should be able to get her up to the next, I want to say I should be able to get her up to promotion before I even leave the castle of the next chapter. But before I move on with anything else in this particular game, I need to talk about Claude. He is a high priest, level 20, pre-promoted, technically promoted at just the right time. He has a 34 base HP and 70% HP growth, 0 base strength and 10% strength growth, 21 base magic with a 40% magic growth, 14 base skill with a 20% skill growth, 15 base speed with a 30% speed growth, 9 base luck with a 50% luck growth, 5 base resistance, or defense, with a 20% defense growth, 20 base resistance with a 50% resistance growth. There comes a time where nobody magically based in this game is a problem for Claude. I mean, really, nobody is right now. He comes with the Fortify, which restores HP to all allies in a 10 space radius. This is powerful. It gives 80 experience points per use. It's insane. His last 10 levels are free, basically. The Valkyria staff resurrects one deceased ally when in the base castle. This is actually really funny that we've ever had something like this in Fire Emblem, and it's insane to me that it does exist. It is repairable, so technically you could do this multiple times. All you'd have to do is make sure you gave him 50,000 gold, because that's how much it costs to repair it. So technically you could have use of this multiple times this generation. What's crazy about this is that he said that there's limits to this. There's actually no limits to this in this game, in the sense that if you had somebody die in prologue and you wanted to use this now, you could, and that unit would resurrect into the particular home castle of this chapter. He's actually kind of very important, especially for Teal2 and Bridget's survivability right now, because neither of them are any good at one range combat when it comes to being near these units, because they're just not great. That's the best way to put it. I think I can move her right here, and then plenty of bow guys will be able to attack her. And that should be it for the time being. So there's still more to talk about Claude. I just wanted to end the turn. Claude has major Bragi Holy Blood. This means that he can use the Valkyria staff, of course. He comes with the holy weapon as it is. He has no skills to speak of. And though he has an A rank in... Actually, you know what? I'm going to have to check his stat screen. This is a little bit of a premature thing that I did here. I'll get to more of his statistics when I move back to player phase. Either way, Bridget has a uphill battle to deal with, all of these guys over here. It's very important to reach these units to help them as fast as possible. But it is pretty possible to continue having Bridget like out of the way of all of these guys. So it's not a big deal. And the fact that I'm getting rid of all of the bow users is pretty great too. Good job, Bridget. So when she gets the opportunity to attack a bunch of units at 2 range, like this, she's actually pretty fantastic. She's way better than Jamka or Midir. But when it comes to like versatile and like being a utilized well unit, I think Midir is just better, just because mounted is just that great. 5,000 gold. Very nice. They're having troubles calculating why they cannot reach. Yeah, and all of these raiders have 5,000 gold. So actually a very good strategy here would be to move somebody like Erin out and have her just go and help and attack these guys. The problem with that is that I don't want her to move because I need her and Alec to be paired. So yeah, like I was saying, he has major holy blood of Bragi, lets him use the Valkyria staff, of course. I've already been over that. He has a talk with Sigurd. It's not important other than story-wise. He has 5 movement, 10,000 funds to start, and S rank in staves and a C rank in fire, thunder, wind. This means that he can only use the basic tomes of each one of these individual things. I usually give him the fire tome that Azel has because Azel has no need for it. Technically, like thunder, well, actually, you know what? Thunder would be better. Thunder would be much better. Wind would be even better, but Azel's going to end up getting the wind tome. The reason being is because it's just better for combat. And I would prefer somebody who has good combat use it than somebody who doesn't. So he can go through the arena. He's not going to be good. He doesn't have anything like pursuit or anything of that nature, but there are times where he can get through it. And of course, Tail 2 is going to strike you down. I don't think this guy can reach, and if he can reach Tail 2, I'm going to heal her up, but if he can't, then I'm just going to leave her. Okay, he can. So this is why it's important to check. Relying on her to dodge is kind of a bit suicide, because the fact of the matter is that she only has 15 avoid. And then I can KO the raider here. Nobody else will go for this village, which is weird, because basically all of these guys are raiders. Which means this village will be safe for whoever wants to get it. And then Sigurd's crew. I guess I could deal with the arena here. I don't think that would be all that bad of an idea. And I'll put you on the road. Enter. Arena. Miracle Sword. Rank 1. Tyler, the Cavalier with a steel sword. He's actually taking several hits to get her down, but he will get her to Miracle if he does. So either way, Rakessis is a far and away better combative unit right now than she was when I first received her, that's for sure. Rank 2, Pelio, the Axe Knight, Steel Axe. Depending on how much damage she takes from... I want to say she's getting no Miracle at all from the Jormungandr Bishop. So that'll be unfortunate. Myrmidon with a steel blade. He only has 36 hit though. He's doing 15 damage, which he would put her at just enough Miracle that she's not getting hit by him. Very nice. It doesn't even matter. She won. That fight was easy for Rakessis, and she is now a level 14. 37 HP. Good, but could have been better. Rank 4. So this isn't the stop for her yet. So she actually has a way to deal with the arena, even if she can't beat it with Miracle Sword. Well, she's going to win now. And that is using the Earth Sword. So technically, I could go through the arena with the Earth Sword when she's fighting the Jormungandr Priest. Or Bishop, I think he's a Bishop. He is the next fight, too. Alright, so if this fight is difficult, I'm going to just reset, because there's not really anything I've done in this particular turn that would warrant not resetting. And if it's bad, I'll just use the Earth Sword and try that out. Yeah, she's taking 16 or 26 damage from him. She's not being put into Miracle. That's unfortunate. So I think, and she's most likely, yeah, she's just going to be defeated here. I think the best thing would be to try the Earth Sword. I'm going to be right back with that. After a reset and some fights, she is back. I don't think this is helping her at all, and she missed anyway, so unfortunately, I think the RNG is rigged in such a way where she's just going to get hit. This is not great. The only thing I can do is actually just leave. Blacksmith. I have the capacity to restore the return right now because she is going to be getting gold from the end of this chapter, so it's not a big deal. But either way, that's not great news. I would have loved it if she would have been able to do a little bit more there. So, Elwind here. Perfect. I'm going to attack with Dew here. Regardless of whether or not he gets hit, doesn't matter because I can just heal him. Yep. 5,000 gold. And then it is time to finish him off with Azel. This is one of the great things about having the physics staff on Ideen. I don't have to worry about having her right up next to somebody to heal. And it's pretty pertinent to have it on somebody like her because she can't move with your army. Physic. I don't think there's anybody possible who could use the Physic right now anyway, besides her, so there is that. Alright, the rest of my units can just keep on moving. Ethlyn. Lex and Madeir are going to come and assist as well. Yeah, so unfortunately, I actually don't think Claude or Tiltu are all that good of units. I know there's probably plenty of people who would say that that's ridiculous and that there's uses for all of the units in this game. I'll grant you, there are absolutely uses for everybody in this game. You can use anybody. You could even use Arden. In fact, I've known people who have soloed the generation with just like a couple of foot-locked units like Arden and so on and so forth. Or people who really, really stress combat with Dew and get him promoted. Dew has actually pretty fantastic growth, so if you do promote Dew, he's pretty good. He's just not exceptionally good, not exactly what I would call a good combative unit out of the gate, though he can become. Especially because, if I'm not mistaken, he gets an A rank in swords upon promotion, which would allow him to use every kind of sword in the game that is reasonably worth using, especially the Brave Sword. The Brave Sword on anybody can make anybody good. Anybody. Anybody. Azel, when he promotes, could use the Brave Sword to good effect. I'm promising you. Let's see. Quan needs to move out of the way. I think we'll deal with this first. Yeah, so this is slow. Like I said, this is slow. But it's a really great way to get a bunch of gold because Dew is just stealing gold every time he hits. And now that he's up one movement off the bridge, he is has much less chance of being hit. Perfect. I actually wanted that. It didn't really matter if that was the case or not. I would have just finished him off next turn. But the faster this goes, the better, in my humble opinion. So 25,000 gold. He can keep on doing this, though. And then the rest of my units can keep moving forward. I'm actually really excited for the strategy that I'm going to be doing with the light brand as compared to the bolt sword in this game, or the wind sword. I think that's really cool. It does mean that Dew is going to end up keeping the wind sword, which I've never done before, so I'm hoping that it turns out to be a great choice and a good strategy. Also, another thing to keep note of, Teal 2 and Claude have a relatively fast pairing. You don't want them to stay together. In fact, I would strongly recommend, especially if you've never played this game, that you seriously try Teal 2 and Lewin. That's one of the funnest pairings in this entire game. They both have low movement too, so it's not like they're going to be out of the realms of being able to reach one another. They'll be able to keep up with one another the whole time, so there's that. Bridget needs to keep moving. Keep running away from the bad guys up here. I'm basically going to get to a point where I choke the point with Bridget, and then I just let everybody come and swoop in and save the day. Because Bridget, Teal 2, they're gonna get KO'd if I let them get attacked by too many of these units. Kind of interesting. I do know that there's a couple of hand axe users over here. Unfortunate that he decided to attack Blue and he got in the way. So Dew couldn't even get any gold that turn. Renewal band coming in. Have the hand axe. Alright, so now I can finish you off. This means that I'm not going to be getting gold from this guy from Dew, but it doesn't matter. I would prefer Dew to move up. Hand axe, hand axe, hand axe. These guys didn't even bother attacking Dew. They're not going to either. So this is, I think at this point, it would just be better for me to move forward. I don't know how much gold Sylvia has. I'm going to have to check that real quick. 21,000. So Dew's 30,000 he has right now is going to be more than enough for this. Alright. What's crazy cool about this is that Azel is going to most likely be able to get the rest of the KOs over here. I will, though, take some gold with the Thief Sword. Perfect. So Azel will be able to KO 2 of these yahoos, which I appreciate. Of course, re-equip the Brave Lance. Sigurd can move right here, because once I break 4th next turn, it's gonna... These guys aren't lasting long. I'll just throw it out there. One. Finn needs to stay in the castle. He's already maxed out on arena. The rest of these guys can just stay in the castle. And then I just have these 3 over here to deal with, Rekessis and Sylvia. Where can Sylvia move? Literally right here. Not great. I almost want to just return Sylvia right now, because I don't think this is going to help anymore. Alright, so with that, I have to deal with these sets of units over here. So Till 2 is much harder to get experience points for, so I think this is way more justified to give her the experience points from this particular unit right here. And just move Bridget over. It's not going to be that big a deal because none of these units are really going to get all that much experience points grand scheme. Claude can go ahead and fortify to heal up both of them. And I'm going to check my units, and I think that should be the end of my turn. HP and res, that's kind of a very typical Claude level up. Staff, physic. None of these particularly matter, but might as well heal up. So they do have a little bit of hit on Azel, which is good because they're not bothering to attack Do, and the reason why is because they have no hit on Do. Makes sense. But attacking Azel would be great because I need him to get experience points and I need them to get out of my way. And he will be able to KO 2 of them. So that'll be great. Perfect. Not so great that one of them hit. I think this is a... Yeah, that's a death. So actually he's KOing 3. Very nice. What level will that bring him to? I wonder. Strength and speed. HP, strength, and speed. That's pretty crazy. So he just has to dodge a couple more. They do have a 1 out of 4 chance to hit him, though, so it's not unlikely that he will get hit by another. Yeah. And then Do can steal the gold from this guy. He has to miss. All right, cool. And Azel is fine with another level up. And he can now be promoted. That's very cool. So this is exactly what I was hoping for, looking forward to. Do can get this last little bit of gold. It's actually going to give him a KO. Not that he needs it, to say the least, though. The problem with Do is that he has to reach the Tower of Bragi. And that's going to be quite a while from now. We're talking many turns. So that's unfortunate, but it's also kind of expected. Okay, I'm going to heal up you. Azel. Azel has to go and get ready to fight the boss and crew over to the northeast. So does Sigurd. Sigurd's not going to fight the boss, but he does have to seize when it's relevant to seize. Lewin can keep moving to the northwest. And then these two have to remain paired. The rest of my units are going to move up here to help with the fight. And Ideen, of course, has to speak with her sister. Alright, Azel, get a little healing. And that's a level up for Ideen. Very awesome, very awesome. Making waves. HP, skill, speed, magic. She can promote too, cool. I'm actually very excited about the fact that my units are getting to that point. Alright, Sylvia. It's funny, because in a couple of turns, Rekessis is going to be able to be moved by Sylvia. That's nice. So I guess that return was actually good indeed. do have to be careful here. I think I'll just wait right there for now, and that will be the end of my turn. Orgahill's phase yet again. Yeah, so Bridget is going to basically be my defensive wall here to prevent either of Tiltu or Claude from getting hit. She doesn't take much damage from these guys. They don't double her, so that's good. And I don't think there's any 1-2 range left, so she's just going to clog up the wave for the most part. Now, you do have to be mindful that you do still take out some of these units because they can move on water. And that's not great. Alright, Azel, keep on moving. Rakesis can move all the way over here. Very cool. I might be able to get her some extra movement next turn. Might be able to. And just keep on moving. They're still not paired, which is unfortunate, but it's going to take a little while. So I could just move them over there to get help for Bridget and crew, but it's not really that big a deal. Deer. Physic. I don't really need her to promote or anything like that, so that's kind of not useful. Like I said, Dew needs to move over there as soon as possible. There's probably going to be a few turns for Rakesis and Azel to pair, which will be nice. Alright. So while I'm waiting here, I'm just going to continue attacking with Bridget to get rid of these guys, because like I said, they can move across the water. Only one of these guys is going to be able to attack Tiltu. Actually, that's not true. She's going to crit the one. So I think I'm going to move back just a little bit. That's the end of my turn. And Orgahill's phase yet again. Yeah, this is going to take quite a while, unfortunately. Quite a while for me to get all of my units over here and to get everything settled. I think what I'm going to do is that in the interim of this episode, because this episode is just about finished, by the way, and the start of the next, I'm going to get to the point where I have basically defeated all of these guys and got over to where I need to be so that Dew can get to the castle, everything can be prepared, so on and so forth. Because otherwise this is just like pointless movement, pointless combat. And some people might say that that's kind of wild or unfortunate that I'm going to be skipping that kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is that for the sake of time and the sake of the fact that this particular game takes forever and a day to complete, I think it would just be better all around if I was to skip some of these more mundane situations where it's not really that important that I show you Bridget's combat and Tiltu's combat for the next like 5 or 6 turns, which is basically going to be the exact same thing. They're just going to be attacking one unit apiece each and every turn, getting these guys out of the way, and hopefully making waves, right? And getting everything done. So with all that in mind, I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe. And while you're at it, leave a comment down below, and have a great and glorious day gaming.